Hi everyone, welcome to Brain Hack 15. This brain hack is, let me go ahead and fade back, you could take a look at it. Dopamine is a success chemical. It is not a feel-good chemical. While we feel pleasure when dopamine is produced, it is driven by feelings that we are successful and valuable. So we are going to talk about this a little bit tonight, but more than talking about it, we are going to do a practice that creates for us easy ways to engage in it. So I'm just going to do a couple little adjustments on my screen, but I'm really excited for this brain hack. This is one of my favorite subjects, and so being able to do it with you is exciting because it's one I'm putting in a lot of the content or some of my classes in content, but doing it face-to-face with people is just such a powerful opportunity with this particular brain hack. So I'm excited to have that opportunity to address it in a way where we can kind of have a conversation about it. So one of the things I want to point out quickly is that, first of all, I have chats open in both YouTube and Facebook. So I'd love it if you added comments, get involved, ask questions. If you want to share anything that you're experiencing or questions you have, that's why I'm here. So be sure to ask if you need anything at all. Also, I'd love your feedback. So I'm going to be asking questions here and there to get an opportunity to see kind of how you feel about different situations. So I'm going to go ahead with this. Just need to put those back and talk about this. So what we're going to do tonight is what I call a reverse goal setting practice. I also often call it milestoning or Post-its. You'll hear me talk about Post-its because I've done it on Post-its before, but I'm not going to do it on Post-its tonight. This is going to be a slightly different approach than I usually take, which is always exciting for me. So what I'd like everyone to do is to get a calendar or a day planner, or you can also add this to your phone. This is a great thing to put on the calendar on your phone. So however you schedule appointments or events, you can go in and just schedule. Now, I want you to put it as a calendar event or as a task that's due on a certain day, however you like to do that. So whatever you use kind of to keep track of your schedule is what we'll be doing. So if you have anything for that, I want to make sure that you have that with you. And while everybody pulls that together, I just want to throw out a couple of reminders. So first of all, if you're watching on YouTube, I have a lot of people say I have a hard time finding videos. If you subscribe to my channel, you won't get pinged, you won't get notified by anything. It'll just mean that when you go to YouTube, I'll be easier to find. And subscribing is free. You don't have to pay for your subscription. It tells YouTube when I'm doing a search, I want this to be the most relevant content. I want to be able to find this video in this particular channel. And so again, that's free, just makes it easy to find. If you want to be notified, if you want YouTube to send you a message when I go live or when I upload a new video, then you can hit that little bell notification icon next to the subscribe button on this video, and it will notify you whenever I'm doing anything on my channel. So, if you're looking for previous brain hacks, that's the other thing I want to throw out there. You can find those on my website at inspiredevolutionproject.com, and under articles and videos, there's a video tab. Just hit the video tab and all the previous brain hacks are there. All the brain hacks I've done so far are on the website. And we're pretty good about getting those up once a week. I actually have a schedule to get them up once a week now. The most, it's 2 weeks tops. You can also find them on the YouTube channel, but they are on the website, so they're easy to access there. So I want to get into what we're doing tonight. One of the things I talk about all the time is the fact that we want to break out of the old models of primal fight or flight and rest and digest. We want to be able to step into a more advanced model of survival mechanisms. So part of that, I've been prompting people to shift gears recently over what we're going through with the virus particularly, and social distancing. And I've talked to people about, instead of trying to survive, instead of trying to just get through this experience, what if we could come out on the other side of this a more evolved, stronger person? Like, what if this could be a catalyst for us to have more power in our lives, or more happiness, or more peace, or more harmony? What if we could propel ourselves forward in an easy way, right? A lot of us have a lot going on with this. And I mean, you look at healthcare workers or people that are working, like, I really think a lot about people at grocery stores and stuff. I'm so grateful they're there, because I still need sustenance, and I eat mostly fresh food. And so I'm going to the grocery store as little as possible, but I am going, and they're there, and they're at risk, and they're still serving me, and they're doing the best they can. So I just really appreciate anybody, if you're out there and you're in any industry, healthcare, response teams, police, all the people that are out there doing that. But I definitely want to include people working to still keep us fed during this time. A huge shout out. But so I know some of us have a lot going on, but at the same time, the practice I'm going to ask you to do, again, just 20 minutes a day. And so if you can lock into that and say, wow, I could come out on the other side of this with a huge win, regardless of anything else that happens, that's really going to be an amazing thing. And so that's the real difference between living in a fight or flight state of mind and an innovative state of mind. Is a fight or flight state of mind says things happen in the world and those cause me to trigger. This person says this, or that person reminds me of someone, or this certain song. It's all these external things triggering us, causing an effect on us. So instead of being in this place where those external factors are going to affect me, instead of being in a place where that outside trigger has power over my happiness and well-being, or my joyful day, or my peace and harmony, I'm able to be innovative. That when something bad happens, I'm able to say, okay, how do I make the best of this bad situation? Because my brain is triggering a different function. And so that pretty much is, in a nutshell, what I do, is help people to train new brain functions so that their reaction is that way, rather than dealing with the triggers, rather than processing through anything. So we're going to start this practice. So I hope that was enough time for everyone to get their calendars or their phone or whatever they needed to be able to do the practice. And so I'd like you to take your calendar. I'm going to call it calendar. So whether you're using your phone for the calendar, or you're using a task app or something like that, I'm just going to call this your calendar. So what we're going to do is we're going to first of all, you want to ask yourself a question. So we're going to start by asking ourselves a question. And that question is, what big thing in my life would I like to accomplish by fall? If you're in Lit Up, and I want to say this, Lit Up is free, by the way, right now. So if you go to my website and go to education, courses, and then Lit Up, that course is free right now. And we're doing a very similar process because it's just timely for this time of year. But if you're already doing that one, you can do another one here, or you can use this as your practice and then just fill in the questions from there. So if you have already done it, I want you to pick another thing. And this doesn't need to be the same as Lit Up, where we're looking at what purpose, what would I give back. This is just, what do I want to accomplish? Is there something I want to learn? Is there a new trade, or is there a language, or is there a something I want to build, or something I want to create? A lot of people that have never done online business are transitioning, and so I'm helping be part of that process, because I've recently been transitioning, and I'm learning. Like just last week, or last Sunday was the first time I was able to go live on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And so things like that I'm learning, I want to share. I want to teach people about YouTube and how to be part of that. Pick something like that. It can be anything, but what we're going to do is we're going to, again, if you're in Lit Up, you can pick something else or use this as part of your Lit Up homework. We're going to pick something that we want to have completed by fall. And then what I want you to do is, when you pick that one thing you'd like to accomplish, I do recommend picking something big. Pick something sizable. Faith is not built by finding parking spaces, is what I always say. When we really challenge ourselves to go for things that we don't think are possible, and then we achieve them, that build strong sense of capability and faith in ourselves to be able to do big things. So pick something significant. It doesn't have to be too, you can shoot for the stars if you want. Great. If you do, I'm all for that. But if it's just like, well, this might be challenging, but I want to do it anyway, or this is just the thing I want to do, it's going to be something I can easily complete by then. But whatever it is, I want you now to go to October 1st, so October 1 in your calendar. And I want you to write what that thing is, what that goal is, and write it in a way that it's a tangible, measurable goal. So for example, if you say, I want to be more unconditionally loving by fall, we can always be more unconditionally loving. No matter how unconditionally loving we get, we can get more. So what does unconditionally loving look like to you? What would you be doing? So if I was a person that picked that, I might say, oh, when people say mean things, I don't get upset. I understand that they're probably just triggered. Or this person that used to upset me, I'm more patient and understanding with them. So see, you want it to be something measurable. So not just something generic. You want to write it as something measurable. So just writing on October 1st, and again, you can set up as a task or a calendar event in your phone, and you just want to date it for October 1st. I do recommend dating these for in the morning. Unless you're a person that works really early, then date it for the time you get off work, or but something that gives you some time during the day. So you're just going to write what it is you would like to accomplish. And if you get behind, if I go too fast, you can always pause the video. Writing down what you're getting in the moment's more important than staying with me. You can pick the video up again after you've paused. And so the first thing you're writing is that October 1st goal. And then beneath that, I want you to write what you're going to do to celebrate if you achieve that goal. So it can be a small thing, or it can be a big thing. You can make it a huge goal. I'm going to go on vacation for a week, or it can be, or a celebration, or it can be just something small. Like I'm going to pause for a moment and go, yes, I did that, or do a happy dance, or I'm going to go get my favorite beverage or something like that, right? Now, the celebration is the most important part of this, and it's sometimes the hardest part for people, because we have learned to just do things like we go to work and we just work all day, and we do get the reward of a paycheck. But in the day-to-day process of it, we often don't stop and acknowledge our successes. And this is what drives that dopamine. Remember, dopamine is driven by success. Dopamine is a success chemical, not a feel-good chemical. It feels good when you release dopamine. It feels you get pleasure in your body. But it is the success that's driving it, which is why we're setting up this practice that's goal related. Is we want to be able to drive feelings of success. But we want to do it in an easy, organic way instead of an arduous way, because then if we don't feel like we succeeded, like we didn't accomplish the goal, then it drives failure, and that's going to be more norepinephrine. So that's going to be an issue. But one of our issues is that we don't acknowledge each little success. So you might have a to-do list of 10 things you need to get done and finish 8 and still feel like a failure. This is the problem. This is part of what's driving those fight or flight chemicals, what's driving those, triggering that amygdala. So even if it's just a moment to pause, give yourself something that's a celebration. Okay, so hopefully I said enough there that gave you time to write a celebration. So right at this point, you should have a goal for October 1st and a way you're going to celebrate. Again, if you're not done with that, go ahead and hit pause on your video, and I'm going to go into the next part and you'll catch up. So just go take the video at your pace. So now, if you do have both those things, what I want you to do is I want you to go to August 1st now. So set a task or a calendar event, or go to August 1st in your calendar. And I want you to think about that goal for October 10th, whatever you wrote there. And I want you to ask yourself, what will you need to accomplish by August 1st that will tell you're on track to land where you want to land by October 1st. So what will you need to get done first? Or what would be a natural organic path? What would be a reasonable thing that you would assume needed to be done by August 1st to be on track to know that you're going to accomplish your October 1st goal? And I do want to let you know, it may not relate. I've had people who had a goal that had to do with starting a business, and they had things like what needs to be done first, whereas cleaning the bathroom or going through boxes, that had no relationship to the business, but that's just what came. So you can either let the answer just come to you, or you can ask yourself, reasonably speaking, what would need to be done by August. It really depends on how you approach things. So if you're a person that's more follows, just you get hits and you're having an answer come, write that answer. If you're a person that's more like, okay, I'm just going to say, okay, if this is October 1st and August 1st, well, I'd need to have this done at least to know that I was on track to be done. So you're going to write your answer to that. And then again, underneath it, you're going to write a celebration. What are you going to do to celebrate if you accomplish that? If you accomplish whatever you're writing that needs to be done by August 1st, what are you going to do to celebrate that accomplishment? Okay, so again, if you don't have your August 1st answer and celebration, you can go ahead and pause the video here. But if you do feel ready to continue, what you're going to do now is looking at that August 1st. So you're just going to look at that August 1st goal. You're forgetting now what's supposed to happen in October. You're just looking at what you wrote for August 1st. And I want you to go and open an event or go to your calendar for June 1st. And you're going to say, to have that done by August 1st, what would be important for me to finish by June 1st? So again, ignoring that end goal, you're only going to focus on August. What one thing will you need to accomplish by June 1st to know you'd organically be on the path to land where you need to land on August 1st? Again, it may not seem significant or related, but that's okay. And so again, after you write your answer to that question, what are you going to do to celebrate? Okay. So again, if you don't have your goal and your celebration yet, you can pause the video. But if you do have both of those written, what you're going to do now is just look at what you wrote for June 1st. What, ignoring the rest, ignoring August, ignoring October, looking at June 1st, to be at the place you wrote for June 1st, where do you need to be by May 1st? So again, to know that you're going to accomplish that June 1 goal, what would have to be finished by May 1st to know that you're on track to meet that goal? Okay, and what are you going to do to celebrate? You want to remember to write your celebration underneath your goal. If you were to meet that goal by May 1st, what would you do to celebrate? Okay, so once again, I'll say it. If you don't have your goal and celebration written, you can go ahead and pause the video here. But if you feel ready, if you have those written, what I want you to do now is just look at that May 1st goal, just focusing on that, forgetting about the rest and saying, okay, this is the May 1st goal. And I want you to go back to your calendar and pull up an event or go back to the date, April 22nd. And you're going to ask the same question. You're going to just look at May 1st and you're going to say, what do I need to accomplish by April 22nd if I know I'm on track to be here May 1st? Now I'm going to say something. As these goals get closer, you may feel some anxiety. This is natural. Just remember to breathe through it. All this means, if you're starting to feel a little excitement or anxiety, either, different people have different reactions, it just means that this is becoming believable to you. A lot of what we don't do is because of lack of faith. We have lack of faith in the thing or in the circumstances or in ourselves. And a lot of times we start practices like this, and that end goal, in our conscious mind, we think it's believable, but somewhere deep inside, we don't really, really believe we'll get there. And so as we do this practice, your brain is believing it's possible because of the way we've approached the goals. We're using our right brain to build the goals instead of our left brain. So you might feel some anxiety. I just like to remind people, just breathe. There's no pressure here. This is going to be the easiest thing you've ever done. You're going to accomplish huge things, and it's going to be so easy, and you're going to see such big response that it's going to amaze you. I promise. So you just want to go back and ask yourself, okay, so if I'm tense or anything, I'm just going to breathe, but what would I need to accomplish by April 22nd to meet that May 1st goal? And if you've already have it written, remember, what would you do to celebrate? If you finished that goal by April 22nd, how are you going to celebrate? Okay, so again, I'm just going to say, if you don't have April 22nd written with a celebration, you can pause the video. For those of you that are ready, we are now going to continue. You're going to just look at the April 22nd, whatever you wrote there. regardless of your opinion on whether or not it can be done. You're going to ask yourself, or you're going to go and open April 15th, tax day, on your calendar. That just happened to be what worked out for the way I do the goals. So April 15th. If you want to pick a day, that April 14th or April 16th, you can. It's up to you. But to organically be at the place you need to be on April 22nd, what will you need to have accomplished by April 15th? What will need to be complete to know that you're on track to be where you want to be on April 22nd? And if you've written it, remember to write your celebration. How will you celebrate? Okay, so again, those of you that need to pause the video, you can pause it here. For the people that are ready to move forward, I want you to open your calendar now. You're just going to be looking at that April 15th. That's the only thing you care about right now. You don't need to worry about anything else that's there. But go to that April 15th and now I want you to open your calendar to tomorrow. So you're going to set a task or a goal or something in your calendar for tomorrow. And just looking at that April 15, what you're going to ask this time is, this changes a little bit. You're going to ask, what one thing can I do today? Sorry, it's my alarm. What one thing can I do today toward my April 15th goal? So I have this goal that's April 15th. What one thing can I do today toward that goal? It doesn't need to be anything big. It can be you're going to make a list, or you're going to break it up, take it in chunks. You're just going to ask yourself, what one thing can I do to work toward that goal? I want to have a chance to write that, and write what little celebration you'll do. And while you're doing that, I'm going to share with you a couple of stories. So I don't usually give dates in this process. In fact, I usually insist that people don't write dates, because things can happen in different timelines than our anticipation. And dates can cause us to either stall or feel like we failed. But I gave dates on this for a specific reason. I love the idea of having a specific goal set for driving into, again, even if we found everything we need to do, we got vaccines and cures and everything for this virus, it's still going to take some time for us to get back in a groove. So being able to take advantage of that time to propel ourselves forward is great. And being able to move through the summer is the best time to do work, because that's when nature works. So it's the best time to really dig in and do a project. So even beyond COVID-19, this is about being able to dig in and accomplish something. This is a great practice to use over and over again. But another reason I don't give dates, besides the fact that we could worry about it, is that what I want you to see instead is the kind of the response and the experience you have, how much better you're feeling by achieving things. Also, I've had 2 different people that I've worked with that have done this process. And for one of them, the very first step was to just send an email. It was actually first time I taught this process, and they came to a Saturday workshop, and their one thing to do was send an email. And they didn't wait till they got to work. They left the workshop and sent that email. And their boss happened to be working that Saturday. And he came back and he said, actually, I have some projects I'm working on too. Why don't we meet Monday morning and we'll see if we can do this project you want to do? Because that's what the email was about asking to do a project. She went into work on Monday morning, met with him first thing. And when she went in, he said, okay, so here's what I have on my list, and we'll go through that, and then you can let me know what you want to do. And if there's room for it, we'll find a place to fit it in. And then the very first project he had for her that he wanted to talk to her about was the exact vision she'd had, the exact idea she had for what she wanted to accomplish. And from the date of inception to the date of doors opening, it was 6 months. This is how the homeless day facility came into being in downtown Salt Lake. It was 6 months from the beginning. Things started happening. Within a few days, someone stopped her and said, I heard you're working on a project. There's a grant available. I'm sure if you apply, you'll get it. They got it. And it funded the project. I had another person who created a holistic rehab facility that was from inception to doors opening 7 months. And this is a big deal for rehab to accomplish something that quickly. But what happens is it's momentum because of the way you're approaching the question. You're not setting a goal and then saying, okay, I've got to figure out how to get there. Well, you've never achieved that goal before, so you don't know the best way to get there. So to use the innovative mind that we're talking about creating, to break out of the standard, I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to overthink it and use logic, instead to move to that innovative mind, the one that thinks in infinite possibility to achieve that goal, is where we gain real power. So we're not going to worry about the specific thing. If you come to August 1st and you haven't finished that specific thing, but you've progressed forward and said, no, actually I got this done, which is better, or I'm not quite at that thing, but I'm close, I'll bump that to August 15th, and then I'll just do my practice again. Because what we're really realizing is I'm setting kind of some milestones. So I'm going to say if I need to drive from Salt Lake to New York, I'm probably going to pass through Cheyenne on the way. But who knows? I may decide to take a detour down to Denver, and then I might end up on a different road. I'm still going to head to New York. And so this is really just setting up a general idea of where we're going to be. And so what we're going to do with the practice every day is you're going to forget. You're going to forget about October 1st. You're going to forget about all of those things. And you're going to look at April 15th. And every day, you're going to ask yourself, what one thing can I do today? So your one thing you did today was to fill this out, to do this brain hack and fill out your schedule. So every day, saying to yourself, what one thing can I do today to accomplish this? You're going to make sure you act on that. Even like I said, even if it's small things, even if it's making a list, even if it's cleaning your bathtub, whatever it is, you will ask yourself, what one thing can I do today? Now, the really cool thing is you have some things in your calendar. So even if you fall off, you're going to run into some of those goals you've written. And you don't need to judge yourself. The worst thing we can do is that's the opposite of driving the success chemical. So if a goal shows up and you've fallen off, you can ask, oh, wait, what one thing can I do towards this goal today? The one benefit you're going to have is if you do something today, you're going to feel better tomorrow, because that dopamine is going to make you feel better. So if you're accomplishing something today, tomorrow's going to feel better. This is why we want to do it every day, so that we can start to create a cumulative result where I'm feeling better because I did that one thing. I drove some dopamine. Now I'm going to do that next thing, drive more dopamine every day. So this keeps you on track to do that. So I suggest setting up the goal. It will radically transform your life to make sure you're driving the right brain chemistry. So this process is worth it for just that. So when the goal shows up, you're just going to, again, every day you're going to look at that goal. April 15th is your goal. What one thing can I do towards my next goal today? And then when you accomplish the April 15th thing, you're going to go to April 20th. Or 22nd. And you're going to say, oh, I finished April 15th. I'm going to do my celebration. And now I'm going to look at April 20th and I'm going to say, what one thing can I do towards that today? Right? If you get ahead, if you're done with the August 1st thing by June 1st, you can reverse goal set again and you can go back to the end goal and go back, okay, what do I need to have done by September 1st? What do I need to have done by August 1st? What do I need to have done by July 1st? And set up closer goals, right? We can talk about, we'll talk about this a lot more. And if you have questions, you can go, that's great, Judy. If you have questions about this, we can go to, into more detail. Just send me questions. You can put questions on Instagram, or not Instagram. You can put questions. You can put questions in Instagram. I'm on Instagram as Linda Forrest Muse, so you can send me questions there. But in either YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and write your questions, and then next week at the Brain Hack, I'll address them. So if you have any issues or need some prompting or are confused on anything, ask. You can ask right now. We're here for another 10 minutes. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask those. And then, but what you're going to do is you're going to ask yourself every day, what one thing can I do towards that day? When you finish the goal, you're going to celebrate. And then the next day, you're going to ask yourself based off the next goal. Again, I've had life-altering things happen, huge shifts. A lot of people have. A lot of people I've done this process with have. I don't know anybody that I've worked with that hasn't had absolute miracles occur from this process, if they follow through. I've had a lot of people do this process and not follow through with it. And of course, they're not reaping those same benefits. But everyone that has, I mean, creating things like the homeless day facility and a holistic rehab facility. I have people who are living in service to big dreams, doing really big things because of this. Their lives have become so big, they're not even here anymore. It's kind of like this tidal wave that carries us, and everything starts to cooperate with us. So again, I want to give people an opportunity to ask any questions you have right now. There's a slight delay between the feed and when it shows up on YouTube and Facebook. So I want to give you room during that to ask. And so I'm going to keep talking and watch for your questions. But for those of you in the advanced practices content, we will begin in Zoom tonight at 7 p.m. If you don't know what that is, there's information about it on my website. It's mostly for people that are kind of steeped in these practices already, but people are welcome. I do recommend you take the free Introduction to Brain Chemistry course before joining, just so that you can understand what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about serotonin or norepinephrine or histamines, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't take that first, a lot of the content will be lost for you. Unless you already trained in those, then it might not be an issue. But that group will begin. We do a live Zoom meeting where we get to interact with each other at 7. Everyone that's joined that should have invitations to do that. And then I also want to let you know the last 20 seconds of this video will have a link in YouTube to subscribe if you're interested in subscribing. And then along with that, you'll get an Introduction to Brain Chemistry beginner course. So that course, the videos for that course will come up. If you want the full course with the content, the questions for contemplation, the exercises, the things that are available in the practices book, you'll need to join the course on my website. So my website will have the extra content and reading there. On YouTube, will just be the videos. They're great videos. There is one single hour-and-a-half video that's an introduction to brain chemistry that's good as well. So any of that can give you the information. If you're just starting off in this and want to understand more about the brain function behind how we feel, been talking about that a lot lately about I've been working on marketing and really looking at how to explain to people what I do. And this is really important. Understanding that our thoughts, feelings, emotions, we can't control those. We can try and we can do it a little bit, but if you find you've been trying programs that are about trying to control those, and you're still having some of the same problems you've had before, or you're only, if you're only getting incremental or arduous results, this can be a real up level of whatever practices you're already using. What I offer does work with other programs, so whatever you're already using will meld naturally. I'm just here to provide information about the brain and what you should see if your practices are working. If you already have someone else that you're learning practices from, that's great. You can actually utilize that, and my program will tell you how they work, and that's free. That's a nine session course, about a 9-week course that is offered for free. So that'll help give you that so that you can utilize your practices, take those to another level because you're understanding the brain function behind them. So again, whatever you feel will work best for you. So I'm not seeing that anyone has posted any questions. So again, if you want to send questions, if you get off the live feed and you're like, oh, I wish I would have asked this, you can post the question in comments on YouTube. You can post the question in comments on Facebook. You can also email me at linda@theselfcaresanctuary.com. If you go to the About page on my website, you can find a link to contact me. So down underneath the picture on the bottom right corner, there are links to all the places to be able to send me a message on Facebook or to my email. You can put those, and then what I'll do is I'll begin next week's Brain Hack answering those questions, because my goal is to be able to answer your questions. So instead of just sitting here and talking, there's a lot of videos I record and I can do that, but I really like this interactive concept where you can ask me what you need to know or clarify things, or when I say well, there's a better way to do that. You can say, what are you talking about? I've been doing affirmations forever and they've worked for me. And really this is about just understanding that maybe they work, sometimes maybe they don't work others. If you don't have consistent results, you can understand why. Again, it's just information, not instruction that I'm trying to give here, just information on how the brain works, because that way you can create the life you want. You don't need to suffer physical illnesses or emotional pain or mental pain. You can be free of all that. In fact, that's our organic nature. Pain is just an indicator that something is off, so something is out of balance. That's the only reason we even have pain. So being able to be beyond that pain is a really, really powerful thing. So ultimately, that's the goal, is to help you up-level what you're already doing. Stay in the practices you're already in, but find a way to make them just a notch better so that you can feel your healthiest, happiest right now. So again, we're getting down here until we have about 4 minutes left. So I do recommend checking out the Introduction to Brain Chemistry on the website. That course is really good. I want to give people a reminder, Lit Up 365 is free until October 1st for the next 6 months, because I want to help people feel inspired. It also gives you a phase 3 practice every day that you can use. And both of those resources are free. Also, all of the brain hacks, all the live meditations I do are available on my website. You can get edited versions there. If you're on Facebook, whatever's on Facebook won't be edited. And if I take them off, occasionally I'll go through and remove the videos from Facebook, just so I can take them off, edit them, and get them onto my website. So if you're looking for those, you can find them on YouTube or on my website. And until then, and feel free to share them. That's the other thing. If there's a video you think that it'll help someone, you can just hit share. Or on Facebook, well, in Facebook I'm live in the private group, so you can't share that video, but you can share the video from YouTube. So you can go to our YouTube channel and share the video. If you're looking at how to get to the YouTube channel, go to my website, again, inspiredevolutionproject.com. Just to the right of the main menu is a link to the YouTube group. We're getting close. We're getting close to 100 subscribers. I've only been on YouTube for a few months, and we're close to 100 subscribers. And at that point, I can get a channel name, so you can go and search for my channel. But for the time being, I am just a random series of letters and numbers. So going to the link from my website is the easiest way to get there. So looks like we're at 6:48, so I'm going to remind you on YouTube there are links to subscribe and to go into some other videos at the end of this video. The last 20 seconds will have that. And I'm just going to suggest subscribing is a really good way to find those videos. So since I don't have any questions come through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and log off again. For those of you in the private group, that will be going live on Zoom in about 10 minutes. If you're wanting to know about the private group, go check out the website and look for go into the store, look for Advanced Practices Content Group. And we do a live discussion of what we've done here. And connect with each other and are there to support each other. It's really about personal connection. So it's not just a chat. You have a chance to actually ask questions and interact and get to know people and build a circle of people that want to do the same thing you're doing. So again, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and however you do decide to move forward, I do wish you tremendous success on your journey. I hope everyone has an absolutely amazing night.